Alrighty, howdy y'all. This is Connor Wardle here, back with another reptile care video. Today we're going to be talking about the desert glossy snake, Arizona eburnata, or excuse me, Arizona elegans eburnata. Just really excellent, nice, underrated species that personally I just really enjoy. Being a more earth tone species, they're going to be a little bit more underrated, just because they're not as flashy and bright as maybe some of your garter snake, marsh, or corn snakes, whatever, things like that. But personally, I just do really enjoy keeping these guys. So let's go ahead and transition into their distribution, their kind of native habitat range, and things like that. So these guys are found in southwestern Utah, a little bit into southern, well, they are in southern Nevada as well as you can find them in western Arizona, southern California, and they do dip down a bit into Baja California as well, the Baja Mexico Peninsula there. Yeah, so as far as diet in the wild, these guys do eat lizards, snakes, I would assume small amphibians, and then small rodents as well. You can kind of see they've got this nice little I guess they've kind of got like a larger, kind of more, a little bit of an elongated nose there that they use to kind of push around in the sand there looking for lizard eggs, small lizards, things like that. That's just what I would assume. As well as possibly as hatchlings, maybe they go for smaller inverts or things like that. I haven't actually produced this species yet, so it's going to be something I'm going to be experimenting in a little bit, just as they produce. As far as care goes and captivity goes, let's go ahead and start off with where you could find these guys. So for the most part, these guys will pop up. I would say I've seen a few on Morph Market, things like that. I would assume just around a few reptile expos as well. For the most part, these are going to be all wild-caught animals. Unfortunately, there's not really a lot of people producing these. To my knowledge, I know Yasser Mastufusa, I apologize if I kind of butchered your last name there. I know he's got a pair that he's planning to reproduce at some point in the future. And then myself, I've got 3.3, so I've got three different pairs of adults that I have been pairing this season, and I do expect to have eggs. However, I'm going to be holding on to those babies quite a bit longer than other people do, just to kind of experiment with some of the feeding and things like that, just so I can get a better understanding of this species in captivity and kind of what their diet is like. So as far as captive care goes in captivity, this is a adult animal here. Typically, they do range from, I guess, 3 to 4 feet. Some localities get a little bit larger than others, where you can find some that are a little bit more like 4 to 4.5 feet, things like that. They don't get particularly large, so it is a kind of nice, small, medium-sized colubrid here. Just excellent species that isn't going to require a large amount of space compared to some of the other species I keep, like Mascoscophus, things like that. So as far as caging goes, I would recommend just like a simple 20-gallon, of course, if it's kind of a larger sized animal, or you just want to provide a little bit more floor space for your animal. A 40-gallon long would be plenty of space there, just to provide just different enrichment and things like that. Personally, I just use the 20-gallon longs for these guys just because that works, and they seem to do fine in these. As far as bedding goes, I just use shredded aspen bedding. Nothing super fancy, but I do like the shredded aspen because it does kind of hold up with their burrowing tendencies and things like that. Kind of helps hold up those burrows there. If you want to try a different substrate, I'd recommend like a sand topsoil mix, something that's got some good structure to it. Not just sand, because that's not going to hold as much structure there. Just something to kind of help keep those burrows up. That way they can kind of just have their own little areas under the substrate and things like that. As far as temperature requirements go, I keep these guys just at ambient temperatures at 82 degrees in the reptile room. Sometimes that temperature does kind of change with what's going on outside of the room, just kind of out in the natural, just the outside, because there's a window in the reptile room there. So that temperature does fluctuate a little bit. However, it does sit just right around 82 degrees. For the most part. As far as feeding goes in captivity, I feed mine just a nice diet of small rodents. These guys can take larger rodents, however, they do get kind of chunky, as you can see, kind of a chunkier snake here. And I don't want to have overweight animals. I want to have nice not super lean and, keep your animals fed and things like that. But I want to have nice, fit, and physically correct animals. That way they can reproduce without issues and just be a nice, healthy snake that lives a nice, full life. Yeah. So as far as just kind of notes that I've seen about these guys, I've never been bit by a glossy snake. They're definitely more of the more gentle species. Some of them do kind of act like a scarlet king a little bit with their, like I've got a female that's kind of like a little bit spazzy. Kind of does like the tail flicks and the kind of like headbutting, things like that a scarlet king might do. A little bit more jumpy, but she's just a little bit more, she's a fresher wild caught animal, so she's not coming around as well. But I mean, once they get used to you and they realize that you're not going to be eating them or things like that, as you can see, this is just a nice kind of calm, mild manner colubrid here that personally I really think you can't go wrong with these guys at all. Definitely a nice, I would say, upper beginner level species. Not really an intermediate species or anything like that. Just an excellent, just kind of intro to colubrids. Like I said, whenever I do produce these guys, I will not be letting any go until they are all rodent feeding, just because I want to have my customers have a good experience with all the animals that I send out. It's just good to have good experience with animals, and I don't want to have someone realize that reptiles aren't for them or something just decide that just because there's one bad experience with an animal that doesn't want to eat rodents, So I'm going to work my butt off trying to get these babies onto rodents. And hopefully, kind of late summer, early fall, I'll be able to provide some captive bred glossy snakes for y'all from a few different localities. I'm just a big locality guy myself, so it's really interesting to me. But yeah, anyway, so that is the desert glossy snake there. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to shoot me a message. You can find me, just kind of shoot a comment here on YouTube, or you can shoot me a message on Facebook. It's my same name. There's the Connor Wardle there. Or you can go to Instagram and find me at Naturalist Herps. Just shoot me a question if you have any questions or concerns or want to learn a little bit more about this excellent species. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later.